You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, you didn't possibly believe that I was going to ignore the Raiders, right? A team I've talked about a lot, especially on Black and White Sports 2. There has been more Raider talk over the last month on this channel. Of course, a lot to do with Pete Carroll's removal, and before that, Chip Kelly's disastrous arrival and departure with the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a horrible year. I self-admitted I bleeped this whole thing up myself. I thought the Raiders, I thought they were going to go like 9-8. I liked the Pete Carroll-Geno Smith combo platter. Of course, I liked them a lot better before Jacoby Myers got traded and before they ever hired Chip Kelly. You guys know I hated that hire. I absolutely loathed it. Chip Kelly's got no business being in the National Football League. Now, that brings us to this. Now, we know there's a vacancy. Brian Flores / Brian Daboll have been floating around out there as a possible head coach, defensive coordinator combination, or a head coach, offensive coordinator combination for the Tom Brady, and yeah, I'm just going to say it, Tom Brady-led Las Vegas Raiders. Very quickly, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I just got a note. It's 12:28. 2 minutes ago on X, guy said I had to rejoin the football channel and the basketball channel. I was unsubscribed. Had no idea. It's crazy. So we appreciate you guys watching as always. Now, I saw this. If I would have been driving down the road and I read this, I might have run off the road. But it's oddly not shocking because we know how Tom Brady feels about this person. Raiders fans probably pull their face skin off and just like throw it on the ground, Silence of the Lambs style. But we get insight into who Tom Brady really would like to hire as the Raiders coach. But he can't because he's already been a Raiders coach. And a failed one at that. This is crazy. This is crazy. So, it was reported this month that John Spytek didn't play a lead role in the team's decision to hire Pete Carroll. And although he may have a more prominent voice this time around, the decision will presumably come down to Brady's preference again. Unfortunately for Tom Brady, though, his top choice to be the next Las Vegas coach might not be an option, even though the candidate is technically available. This is wild. Quote, if there were no consequences and no cost, it would be Josh McDaniels. Wow. I was just like, wow, I got to shoot this. Because Raiders fans, they're just not even going to believe it. Hondo Carpenter said on the Las Vegas Raiders Insider podcast, look, I think there's two things here. All right? I think if Mark Davis had his way, he'd hire John Gruden again. And it is it's surprising, it's funny, it's not shocking. Tom Brady adores Josh McDaniels. And it's not surprising that Tom Brady really and truly in his heart would believe that Josh McDaniels is the guy he'd like to hire and give another shot to. Quote, I'm not reporting he's coming back. But that is the name. If I was asked who would Tom want, I would 100% believe that's who Tom would want. They want a young offensive mind who can develop a quarterback. Look what he did with Mac Jones. Look what he did with Drake Maye. Obviously, there's too much history between McDaniels and the Raiders to go down that road again. But according to Carpenter, Brady tried to convince Davis not to fire Josh McDaniels in October of 2023. Okay, so let me add a little something. because I covered this a lot when it was going down. The Josh McDaniels fiasco into Antonio Pierce, that entire thing. That's when I started talking a bunch of Raiders. We got to remember, one of the voices that was prominent wanting Josh McDaniels out was Davante Adams. He hated Josh McDaniels. He wanted him out. Well, and then you looked up and Davante Adams still wasn't happy, and he still wanted out, even though he banged the drum. Him and Max Crosby both banged the drum for Antonio Pierce. So, in part, Josh McDaniels was, you can in part say he was a little screwed over. I understand it was not going good, but Davante Adams was in that locker room poisoning those players about Josh McDaniels, and Davante Adams, we found out, wasn't happy with the Raiders no matter what. No matter what. Quote, I was told by somebody in the organization. God, let me start that again. Quote, I was told by somebody in the organization. I just wanted to make sure you understood what I was saying. I was not told this by Mark, and I was not told this by Tom Brady. I want to make that clear. However, the person who told me would absolutely know. I was told that when Mark got ready to fire Josh McDaniels, Tom wanted to convince him to not get rid of Josh McDaniels. I know Tom and Josh are tight. If Tom had been here when Josh was here, Josh McDaniels would not have been fired. If Tom would have been here when Josh was here, Josh would still probably be the coach. As well as the Patriots have performed this year, McDaniels as their offensive coordinator, it's interesting that his name hasn't been floated by anybody as a potential head coaching candidate in this year's cycle. By the way, one name that is kicking up steam is Clint Kubiak there. The other one, Robert Saleh. Now, this is interesting, and I guarantee you, surely Tom Brady knew this was coming, because there was a lot of fire that a lot of people believe Mike Tomlin's going to Fox, Fox Sports, to be one of their analysts or one of their guys in the booth. And, of course, Tom Brady is the number one dude there, all right? Tom's not going anywhere. But they probably knew Tomlin was going to TV, yada, yada, yada. If Tom wants Brian Flores or Robert Saleh, the Steelers are in his way. Because Flores and Saleh are probably going to be two of the top 5 candidates in the running for that Steelers job. So, long story short, 3 weeks ago, Tom Brady was like, yeah, we're going to have to hire a coach. Did not realize he was going to have to hire, fight the Steelers for one of their candidates until maybe the last just couple of 3, 4, 5, 10 days maybe. I don't know. Maybe Fox Sports did a great job of. Somebody did a good job of hiding the Tomlin thing, but the TV rumors started coming out 3 weeks ago that Tomlin could separate. The point is, what happens with the Steelers now affects the Raiders. This is wild. This is wild. You cannot, there's no world, and I understand Tom's point. Oddly enough, you look at the Raiders and you think Josh McDaniels and Mac Jones back together again. And just like that, no matter what, that offense is going to be better. But you cannot do that. The Raiders fans would long support. Many Raiders fans would support John Gruden getting yet another shot. Josh McDaniels, no, that's not going to happen. I don't know how any owner can ever sell Josh McDaniels as a head coach in the league again. I don't know how that can happen. Do I think Josh McDaniels could maybe eventually end up a head coach in college? Yeah. I could totally see him as like the Boston College head coach. Kind of like Bill O'Brien is there now, another former Patriots OC. Same kind of thing. I could see Josh McDaniels coaching a lesser ACC kind of program, or Maryland, sure. Something like that. Purdue. I mean, that kind of program. He works wonders with young quarterbacks. And yeah, oddly enough, Josh McDaniels is probably the number one most respected guy by Tom Brady. We also got to remember they brought in Josh McDaniels because they thought they were bringing in Tom Brady to play quarterback. That was a thing to the Raiders. So I read this and was like, that's wild. Because if it was up to Tom Brady, he'd rehire Josh McDaniels. Tell me what you think. The NFL is so wild. It really is. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.